I think at this point we all have flirted with the idea that maybe in the future we're not only gonna sell websites to clients, but also web apps. And if you're spending some time on social media, then you see all kinds of cool demos, mostly from platforms like Lovable, Bolt, and Replit. And I love all of these tools. They are great and they're improving really fast. But when it comes to security and stability, it's just not comparable to older systems like WordPress. And yes, WordPress feels a little bit like a dinosaur in this new age, but at least you can rely on the system a little bit more, apart from some updates that break something sometimes. And so I kind of had this mindset of like, I'm just gonna wait until these platforms become a little bit better. But then I had a conversation with Dominic from Zite, which is a company that was actually called Fillout before. I have made videos about this form platform before because I think it's a very nice to work with form platform, and it also has replaced my Calendly. It has scheduling and forms in one. You can embed it anywhere. So on WordPress, on your AI coded website, it has PDF generator, payments included, automations, signatures, and the free plan is amazing. So I was so excited when I found this, and now they have basically transformed their company. They have renamed it to Zite. So now Fillout is a part of Zite. And Dominic told me in this live stream that they have actually been creating a vibe coding platform that is optimized for stability, safety, security. And this is because guys like Dominic also saw the downsides of all of these cool demos we see online, which is that often the database is not properly connected or it disconnects. The user roles authentication is not set up. Your API keys end up on the street, all kinds of shit that you don't want. And so Dominic said, not everything should be vibe coded. And that's also something that I believe, because online there's now this big idea that everything can be generated in the future. But do we really have to generate everything? Do you really want to vibe code security? I mean, yes, a security check is fine, but some guardrails would be nice, right? And so that's basically what they did. They already had a great database system because their form platform already saved all of these submissions in a database system. They're not using an external service. They have their own database system. They already had automations built in. And so then they just built apps on top of it. They added user authentication and user roles into the system. So for example, Google login authentication is already built in. It's literally one toggle. Email notifications, this is often also hard to set up with other vibe coding platforms. I've tried it. And like I said, security first. So it basically has a lot of guardrails so that you can vibe code safely. And no system is waterproof. WordPress websites get hacked all the time as well, but you should take it seriously, right? So I thought I'm gonna make a video about this. I wanna share this, but instead of me just making this video and saying how cool this is, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself. Lead by example, they say, right? So I built my own mini client CRM because right now I'm picking up client work again. And I wanted a CRM where my clients could see my progress without me sharing my whole to-do. Because in the past, I used to make like a Notion dashboard and then I would share that whole Notion dashboard with all of my to-do items with a client, but that also contained all of the technical details, which is not relevant for a client. So now that I'm picking up client work again, I thought I'm gonna do it differently. I'm only gonna share what's relevant to the client. I'm still gonna have my own Notion for my own task management, but at least there is a place where the client can see progress, where he can submit ideas, where the invoices are. And so I got to work, I opened up Claude and I asked it to create an in-depth PRD, product requirement document. I put in all my ideas there and then I started with the PRD. The first thing that I noticed is that in the plan, it asked me for approval a few times, and then especially stuff that had to do with the database. So that gives you a level of control. And it doesn't only have a plan and a build mode like most tools, it also has a chat mode, which is really nice because sometimes you just want to ask a question like, hey, how did you set this up without it generating a whole plan? Or you want to discuss some ideas before you let it generate a plan. Then this feature is also nice. It suggests a prompt instead of just writing a plan, because what often happens in these tools, and I've had this a lot in Bolt, is that it tries to understand what you want to achieve and then you have to re-explain yourself again. But with this feature, you can quickly make a small change before you submit it, and that saves you from re-explaining yourself again. Then it has magic login. So in this case, I'm building a dashboard for my client, but I don't want to ask my client like, hey, make an account, save your password somewhere, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to lose that password and then they're going to send you a WhatsApp message. And so magic login is built in. They only need their email and then they will just get a link. And if the system sends an email, you can set it up so that it sends it from your Gmail instead of from the database system. And I think this is one of the places where you see that it's already an established platform, because they had already this whole email tool from Fillout, so you can use that power. And then the planning feature, this is also nice because it's editable. I haven't seen this before, but it's just a text box. You could just make changes in here before you say build this plan, which is nicer than having to re-prompt it. And maybe most importantly, you have direct access to the database, which is really nice. You can see all of the tables in here. The tables are actually here at the bottom, so you can see if the data is saved. And I know that many Vibe platforms also have that, but with many of the platforms, it's an external service that they have an agreement with, instead of it all being on one platform. By the way, I do have to say though, that Replit also has their own database system, which has been stable. So definitely some credits to Replit as well. So yeah, I can say with confidence that this platform, for me as a no-coder, has made me the most safe of them all. It has been the most stable, but this is the one that I would choose right now if I would actually sell something to clients. And again, I don't know if it's waterproof. If you're really dealing with sensitive data, let's say healthcare data from patients, then maybe it's not the best idea to sell a vibe-coded solution unless you have access to a developer who can find vulnerabilities. But that's in an ideal world where your developer actually knows a lot about security, and that's also not always the case. Unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of systems are vulnerable, and so the best thing that you can do is build with a system that has guardrails. That's why many no-coders use WordPress, and now for Vibe solution, we have something like Zite. And so this is awesome because now I have my forms, my call scheduling, and web apps all in one platform. And if your client wants to own their own web app, that's also possible because they had already a great user system per organization. So if you click over here, you can see your different clients. So this is a client account. I have just added myself as an admin. The client is also an admin. So it's not sitting in my dashboard. The only downside with this approach is that you need a separate subscription. But hey, that's always the case if the client wants their own license. So yeah, I'm probably gonna develop some more web apps, and to be fair, I have web apps now on all platforms. I have the first one on Zite now, I have a web app on Bolt, on Replit, and on Lovable. All of them are great, but this one has made me the most safe, which I thought deserved a video on its own. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, you can check out Zite via Zite.com. Do I have an affiliate link? I don't know. If I have an affiliate link, I will put it in the video description. For now, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that you got something from this video.